IVM.
Sometimes it feels like all the weight of the world is fallen onto my shoulders. And it usually happens on my downtime while I'm enjoying a nice game of cricket. It's like my family realizes that I'm watching cricket and they just rush to ruin it for me then. My mom will come in ranting about some problem with the neighbors. My wife will come in shouting about how we need to redo our kitchen, plus also some problem with the neighbors. And my daughter will come in angry at me because the color of the new car we bought is not what she had wanted, which is apparently the biggest crime a father can commit. Plus, of course, some problem with the neighbors. If only things could be just the same, even if something were to happen to me. Unless www.hdfclife.com, select, done. Things aren't so bad after all. Live calm. With HDFC Life, click to protect life. The Life Protect option protects your family from financial uncertainty. Visit hdfclife.com to know more and for terms and conditions. कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Now rated top show in IVM out of the two shows that we know, that Cyrus says and Cock and Bull. Cock and Bull is rated top. But that's not the point. The point is that we've moved the segments now where we'll do more Cock and Bull and less guests, as I keep reminding you, and the poor guests who we had to drop today. Yeah, in your face, Rohit Sharma. You may be a great batsman, but we couldn't put you on today. Just didn't have the time. Huge thing happened to me in the morning, which is I don't know how to deal with this anymore. Urban elite issues as usual, but yeah, we've got to talk about it. Please understand, when you have a glass made of glass, you don't put it on furniture. You don't put it on a table. Okay? You don't put it on wood. It's just wrong. This is why we have the coaster. I have them everywhere. So please, my good friend Costa walks in, he just puts a glass right on the furniture, and I think that is a crime. For me, it's as bad a crime as, bullying a child or slapping an old woman. In fact, sometimes worse than that in my book. So Costa and others, please use coasters. They're there, they are to be used, all right?
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy? If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.
And now let's meet our fantastic guests on Cock and Bull. We have the legendary Ayushi, who hosts shows on IVM and has a point of view of which will be far more forthright than mine. We have Navin.
And our shipping expert, by the way.
Stop
Yeah,
this.
but she doesn't want to be called that. So if we call her that, then you take the blame.
Exactly.
Again.
You're pigeonholing me now.
Yeah.
This is not right. I have many talents.
Yeah.
There are many things I don't know anything about.
Like us. And let me just say, in Gujarati, we say seeping, not shipping. So you say it properly on the show. And Naveen, thank you for honoring us with your presence in our studio. Both of them are in the studio. All three actually, Silverie as well. That's fantastic. And look how versatile it is. Each one has a different colored background. So it's like, one is with AAP, one is with BJP, one is with Congress. It's all different. Beautiful.
We've come a long way.
Yeah. Is this late night news? Are we just going to shout at each other now? It seems like that.
After 800 episodes or whatever you call these things, you're asking me about format. By now, you should know we have none. We have no body.
Yeah, sure.
We're just, we're worse than... We just free think and nobody pays attention. But
we can break the fourth wall from here. So I can just hit him and you can see it on real time. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's
amazing.
Let's actually not debate then.
Wow, that was fantastic. Also the lovely colors on your hand. Rasta man.
This is a rainbow flag, Abhi.
Oh, is it? Not Rastafarian? That's my generation, I guess. Okay. Rainbow it is then.
Showing on my camera.
Supporting different things.
All right.
But TST buses have Rasta colors on them? I'm just saying.
They do?
Yeah. From behind, there's always a red, yellow, and green.
I guess it's because it's so caked in pollution that you don't think of it as those colors.
Brown.
I always thought it to mean that you can do what you want inside.
Ayushi, you're again bringing your South Mumbai elitism into play here, because when they leave, the buses leave Nalasopara, they're perfect. By the time they reach Nepensi Road, they're horrible, caked with all that
I
mud
will
and
not
dust.
take this hate from you, who lives in South Bombay himself.
Yeah.
You do this every time and it's like, oh, I'm the South Bombay person. You could not be South Bombay if you tried.
But listen, all I'm saying is we can't betray our people. Now, our people don't know
Never.
that much about buses. You just don't lie now. Naveen gets angry. Naveen
You're
is
not
an
driving
angry
behind
comic.
the buses
He's
all the
funny
time.
angry.
Don't act like you'll have free roads and everything is empty in South Bombay.
I know. I
The only
drive
thing is-
behind a bus.
Yeah,
The only
you
time
always stuck
Ayushi
behind the
asks
bus.
about the bus is if the driver is late and he says the bus ran late. That's the only time she knows about it. So it's not fair. Sorry, I just over crossed my mark.
You know,
I was
It's
trying to
only
give
because
Naveen
the
that
saddest-
has happened before, so that's
See,
why I'm
see.
laughing.
And Silverie, you dare open your mouth, Mr. Powai, with just 6 cars. You're exposed. By the way, he's no leftist.
Well, yeah,
Naveen.
man.
6 cars and 4 people in the house. It doesn't divide.
I apologize.
Literally
guys.
one
That's
leg
Yeah.
and
like
one car.
environmentally
privilege.
so horrible.
But he has
I
slept in his
mean-
car multiple times. I know
Yeah,
about
so
that.
it
So
saves on AC at home.
Oh wait, you
Yeah.
live in your car?
No.
No,
That's
no.
different.
Yeah, that's I
By the
have.
way,
Though, I have.
He's got SUVs, he's got Mercedes, he's got a plethora of different cars. It's not just one type.
Yeah,
huh?
I'm giving
This guy's
everyone
loaded.
business.
Yeah. I don't.
Correct.
Word has it that he might be an Adani. He's that big. He's huge. Silverie.
it looks like one.
Thanks. Yeah.
Are
He has the
you
features.
single? Is the question.
As of now, yes, but
Not
as of
now.
tonight,
You've been
no.
single.
As of tonight,
As-
something's happening. Cyrus.
Nothing.
What? As of tonight, he
Okay.
won't be single. He's got
I'm just
plans which are already planned.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Who knows?
Let's abandon the rest of the show and talk about that. So what's happening tonight?
He used to pick all.
See, I was nice. I know, Abhinav. Thank you. And my spelling is Navin. My only pet peeve in life is my spelling being wrong. And then everybody's like, "We like you, but fuck your spelling." I love that.
Naveen, who wrote that?
My fan, clearly. Abhinav.
Abhinav.
Obviously.
He used
Yeah.
to pick all my questions when he was the producer, Miss Naveen being producer. No offense, Silverie.
You know, it
Abhinav
sounds
wasn't-
like Miss Naveen, like in school.
Yeah,
like Miss
yeah.
Naveen.
I also I got
Read
that.
it- I
on
read
the-
it like that.
Is it a
I read
South
it
Bombay
like
book?
that.
I also got
I-
that. I was like,
I'm
it's trying to be like
Morning teacher.
facetious,
That's the vibe, yeah.
offensive.
I was like, I didn't check
disgusting.
the pronouns of this. Yeah.
Yeah, is he doing a
Miss
Jimmy
Naveen.
Carr on the Holocaust? I don't know what was happening there. It's amazing. By the way,
But
you guys
Abhinav, you
haven't
can
followed
ask
that
real-time
story.
questions now. The good thing about live is just the fact that you can do this on real time and nobody
Oh, I
has to
forgot
pick.
this is live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Are you
number
going to be
of eyes-
patronizing to my 7 listeners? Don't do that, Naveen. Now it's 6. Stop doing that. That's just I lost everybody from Andheri upwards with a couple of comments between Ayushi and me. So
That's because of
behave
the
yourself.
Wi-Fi only.
Ayushi is love.
man.
Okay, now flirting is
Thank
happening.
you.
Fun saag. Fun saag.
But I
Ayushi
think
is
we
love.
should talk about the sad news this morning. R.I.P. Bappi da.
What?
You don't know?
No, I do not know, man.
What?
Today morning?
I'm not
Both of them
prepared.
do
I'm
not know.
such a fan.
Bappi
Cyrus,
Lahiri
did you
passed away this morning. Yeah.
The
Oh,
news
God.
comes to South Mumbai later.
But no, even I woke up 8 a.m. That's why I found it on Twitter. But
Are you
otherwise,
serious? This you can't be funny
Wait,
about
wait,
this
wait,
kind of
wait.
thing.
Wait, this is
Are we
Yeah.
getting a national holiday?
Check the
depends.
Bapida
Not,
situation.
not in
So-
here.
That
Antariksh,
is so
man, you
offensive.
send us all this rubbish news.
I
You
don't-
didn't
dude.
send us this.
Today
This
morning it
like,
happened.
Like right now, it happened like 2 hours ago. So it's okay. Everybody's forgiven.
Who told you, man?
Wow.
Instagram,
So I-
Twitter, everything.
I guess
the
it'll
news
be
is like.
insensitive of me to go to my next point,
Sorry,
which
sorry.
I think I'll leave for now.
Yeah,
I think you
I don't
should.
think you
In
should.
his honor, of course.
No,
you
I don't
should
know.
be
In this
doing-
country, everything is
It
offensive. And
is. He
okay,
passed
Ayushi, by the way, has
He
left the
passed
show
away,
and she's now watching our news
She's
program.
googling it because I'm
I mean,
a
it's a live show. I mean, what are the people?
Sorry.
How professional are we? Everybody's doing their own thing. I've got drinks ready. You're watching.
No,
news?
I was checking on this Bappi news.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Yeah. What a great icon.
Yeah, great icon,
He
man.
was a
Yeah.
fashion icon to me. Like, just that's the goal.
His-
Right
Careful.
now.
So okay,
Yeah,
this is a
there's-
true story. Okay, there is so Bapida's house is called Bappi House. Okay, in
his son is called
Lahiri
Bappa.
House in Juhu, right? And
Bappi house would have been
no,
so much
Bappi House,
better.
no, sorry, Lahiri House in Juhu. And during college, right, as Navin was talking about me sleeping in the car and living in the car, I used to bunk college for like whatever the entire day of college.
No.
Park my car outside Lahiri House and like just chill in the car with
With
my
Bappi?
friends and all. No, not Bappi.
Like there's a
Oh.
parking
Just-
spot for
This is
him.
my parking spot. So great
Oh.
memories with.
Can anyone
Bappi
do
Lahiri
the
House.
bit part in I Am a Disco Dancer? That bit part is oi, oi, that bit. That's damn tough to do correctly.
I don't
am
think
a
anyone should even
disco
try.
dancer. Ooh. Naveen, go for it.
Oh yeah. I can do the ooh from the other song.
Okay, do the
आप
poem.
जैसा कोई
Oh, nice.
मेरी जिंदगी में
जिंदगी
आए
में आए
तो बात
तो
बन
बात
जाए.
And now go.
Yeah.
Baat ban jaye. Not bad, not
Yeah,
bad. Not bad.
I can do that.
I don't know if this is a tribute, and I apologize. Actually, I
I can hear it
apologize.
very
I-
in here. Yeah.
It was not intended to be offensive, so please, anybody listening, it was in a sense a tribute. Because at
No,
least,
but I would.
me and
I would
Naveen
always
grew up
Is
with
that
a lot of.
song offensive?
No,
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 it's
what
a
we're
song.
doing. I don't know. Somebody passes away, you got to be careful.
No, we are remembering.
That's why
We
I
are,
don't
Yeah,
attend
yeah.
funerals
But
anymore.
I would
Because I get very
imitate
nervous at a funeral.
that song. यार भी ना चैन का हरी, यार भी ना चैन का हरी. That was like his style. So I used to like really enjoy singing like him.
I need to go like listen to him
The-
today.
the most recent song of his that I really like a few years back now was from Taxi number no
No,
to
to Gyara, yeah.
Shola
Hey, yeah, hey, Karishma. That one.
What? Don't just make. What did you just say?
I'm just like helping you out on the
Cyrus,
fly.
Yeah,
your
Oh, shit.
show
Karishma?
has left
How
Hi.
fast he turned on me.
the
Naveen,
studio.
what do you know about
It's out of
charisma
your
anyway? What
control.
the hell's going on? This is hijacking our
I know
topic.
Karishma Kapoor was the ambassador
Again.
for Rasna. That's my biggest
I love
trivia.
Rasna. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
go away
I
from
did
Bappi,
also,
but
yeah.
I love Rasna. Rasna is huge.
No,
I'm
man.
at
Tang.
No,
Tang
that's
is
not
also great. I like
that's
I
not
like all, man.
sweeter.
I liked
Rasna
everything.
number one. And you
Tang
can
was
now that
if you had a
now
abroad
that we are
cousin,
all
someone who came.
diabetics, you can sort of mix it with other
Okay,
sweets.
so
Yeah,
Boost or Horlicks or Bonvita? What are you guys? Or Milo?
Milo.
Milo,
Uh,
yes, Milo.
Milo.
Guys.
Bonvita,
Oh.
Bonvita.
Bonvita.
Yeah.
Bonvita, then
Complan
Horlicks.
actually, Complan.
Complan
had some,
malt.
like,
The malt, yes.
yeah, malt
Wow.
had like a good flavor. Yeah.
So
Yummy.
none of y'all have taste buds. That's what you're.
Milo was
No,
great. I
Milo
agree.
is
Yeah,
great.
Milo was
buds aren't
fantastic.
Your
developed.
parents could
Every
afford
morning.
it. Like I don't
It's
think
not
we had the
developed
same
beyond
version
8
of
or
buying
9.
really
You
good
That's
also
what we're
got
trying to
free
say.
things with Milo. You got a free bat. You got a free
Yeah.
tennis
Correct. Oh, yes.
racket,
Yeah.
and you got so many free things with Milo. It was
That's
Yeah,
like,
a
correct,
South African
absolutely.
brand, right? Like it's not like really American. Milo's not.
I did not look at its
I don't know.
lineage. I was
My
just
God, how
interested in
politically
freebies.
active is Naveen? He has to check the country of origin and what their meanings are philosophically
No,
and
because,
This is not
culturally.
make in India. Why is
What?
that?
Yeah, even the
Yeah.
colors are very
How many
synonymous,
Chinese
the yellow
products
and
do
the
you
green.
have, sir? What's going on?
I'm a Chinese product.
Hey, they banned more stuff, no, from China now.
They did. They
The
banned
Baap
some more
ban
like
jaye.
apps.
Huh.
Yeah.
The Baap ban jaye.
So yeah,
Okay,
they
but
banned some more apps from China. That's what Ayushi wanted to bring up.
No, I didn't want to bring up. I just
Okay.
how can they
I
ban
heard
apps
China.
from China when the Statue of Equality was built in Hyderabad the other day?
That's so
135
crazy.
crores.
Yes, absolutely.
Given to a Chinese company which built it, and then the PM inaugurates it. So why are we banning anything from China? That doesn't make any sense.
It's just what makes the
And
news.
the
Apps
irony
also
of
make
equality and all that, etc. I don't want to get into it. Sorry.
Physical
Let's get
stuff
back.
is okay for them.
their
Digital-
excuse is
digital-
privacy.
yeah,
Like,
digital
oh, these
stuff
Chinese
scares
Also,
them.
apps.
I was so upset when they went after Cam Scanner. Like, why?
No,
It's
but
so
that
useful.
was actually a buggy app. It was like proof that like it was leaking your documents, and it was not their fault. It was like people who
Take
constantly.
all my cookies. Take all my
You want
addresses.
so-
Just let me
I
scan.
don't care.
What were you scanning on Camscan?
Ayushi, what do you mean by take
But
all
there
your
are other
cookies?
substitutes.
This is a very sober show. I please, before you say anything, just sort of censor yourself. All right, we are the listeners are about 8 to 12, not more. Let's get back to
in
Bappi.
8 or in like volume?
I don't know.
Both.
I don't.
We have 8 to 12, 8 to 12-year-olds.
No, if it
What's
is
the
8 to
show?
12-year-olds, then I should know.
Our
because
marketing
then,
survey says the demographic sucks, whatever that means. Now I don't know. And everybody listening is like, shut the fuck up.
Can you
Naveen-
curse on this show?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
because
No,
on
you
mine
can't.
you're not allowed to.
No, you can't. You can't use fuck, bastard. You can't use those kind of words. But you can use like soft words like
Can I
idiot.
use bastard if I'm describing someone who was born out of wedlock?
Yeah.
Yes, you
like Oliver
can.
Twist.
But you can't say bloody bastard in that case. Even though
What
he
if
may
I'm
have
talking
been
about
cut or
his
something.
birth, which was a
Yes.
blood-covered event?
Then you could explain that there was a blood-covered bastard. But I think bloody would be. Let's ask Silverie. Silverie, what words are allowed and why?
You can say anything like fucktard, asshole.
Can I tell you what
Bastard.
Amit does? Silverie, can I tell you
What
what
a
Amit does?
wild show this is!
Yeah.
Ayushi, one second. You got to understand what Amit does. He tells us
Be
not to use
wilding.
the bad words, and then he
Yeah.
starts pontificating about something close to his heart, and they just
And
come
then he
out.
says, fuck.
Yeah. Everything else.
Yeah, non-stop. And I'm suddenly thinking, what happened? 5 minutes ago, we were
We
told.
lost 2 viewers by the way as soon as
My
we did this.
my favorite was
Yeah?
when he started pontifying about poetry, and Cyrus was just not having it at all. I'm like, this is a
correct.
interesting episode of Cyrus
Amit-
Says, because now he's talking like Keats and stuff like that.
Not even Keats, some new age people. But it's hilarious how he goes into this story about the English words that we give him, that everybody in his circle uses them. And Silverie and I are looking at it, he's like, really? You were a group of nerds who stand around using words like dross in normal parlance?
Man,
It's like
it's crazy.
unbelievable.
So literally, like every single Monday we do this. Okay. New
Oh, the
word of the
word.
week.
Yeah,
word of the week.
word of the
Yeah.
week.
And
And they're ridiculously
I
stupid
never
words.
get
There's
it
no
right.
way.
Amit always knows the word, and he's always like, dude, how do you guys not know the meaning of the word?
He's Googling
We
it.
didn't have to do
He's
TOEFL or
not-
he's not
IELTS
doing
or whatever. No, we just like
Yeah.
learn
No, he's-
India only.
This is what
He just
people do
knows
with their
this stuff,
spare
man.
time.
It's
There are
very
all
good.
kinds of people in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
It's an SAT word.
It's an SAT word.
We are SSC kids.
Yeah.
Oh, the wife has turned up, huh? The wife has turned up. And now she's
Happy
caught me and
Valentine's
Costab
Day.
Hey, how
together.
was your Valentine's
Ding.
Day, Cyrus?
Separate bedrooms. And great. Superb.
Yeah.
We actually did a
Excuse me,
live,
we have a live show
with
going
Aisha
on here.
Saturday.
People are paying money.
On
No what's
Valentine's Day.
paying money? Yeah, we
Who's
had
paying money to watch this?
Aisha says
No.
it was the worst show she's done because there was
It was
too
the
much
best.
fighting and bickering. And her
so
friends, her
funny.
running group, who's the epitome of what's good and bad on podcasts, they said it was terrible. Aisha, what is this cleavage show? You know I'm against it in conservative India. Wear your hijab. Put it on.
That
If I
brings
get
us to the
shot.
first topic of this morning.
See that?
This
You all
is
see
this is
that?
Antariksh wanted this segue, no? You
Yeah,
wanted
it was,
this.
yeah. Very, very
I
provided.
texted Aisha, please, could you just
Yeah.
come on?
And that my middle finger,
Yeah.
since it's full of abuse, I mean, we might as well
Yeah.
just go the whole hog. Yeah. Amit is somewhere
Yeah.
getting hiccups for sure.
Outside.
This is right here.
He's
yeah.
outside.
So let's not go to the
Yeah.
hijab yet. It's only
Yeah.
10:15.
Yeah,
Or
sure,
shall we?
absolutely. Let's.
Yeah, we finally have a
We
girl on the
should,
show.
we should.
We have a lady on
Yeah.
the show, so now we have someone who, well,
Mm.
frankly speaking, the opinion should matter a little bit more than ours.
No,
Ayushi,
you
the
know.
pressure's on you.
You know, in fact, when I was asked to do this, remember I told you if there's any topics which involve like women's rights,
You want to do
feminism, don't
shipping?
call me only.
You want to do shipping?
Don't call me.
Shipping is
Don't call
always
me.
there.
Because
This
early
is-
in the
But this is
morning to
not-
start fighting like this to be like, yeah, well, okay. I just want to ask, who is going to disagree with my opinion on this?
Me.
On
Not
I'm
us.
succeeding.
Like, I don't understand
I
what
won't.
what is a novel opinion to give here on this on the ban? Like,
Yeah, we are pretty much on the same side of the argument over here as like elitist Bombay dwellers who are sitting in a studio and talking about it. The reality over there
Yeah.
is that those innocent girls who are just like going to school are being harassed the way they are.
Oh man, it's
We
terrible.
can't on any human level be like, if we understand what they are going through, we can
that's
of
what
course
I'm saying.
empathize.
And like,
But she's
as
saying
someone who's-
she's on your side in the. Am I right, Ayushi? That's what you're saying.
yeah,
Freedom
like,
of expression, wear what you want. It's not anybody else's business.
I think Sanity Panels, the webcomic page, they summed it up perfectly because a lot of these arguments are also from left thinkers who are like, hijab is more like controlling a woman and telling them what to wear.
Yeah, but there are
And
two
then-
different issues.
Yeah,
There are two
but
different
what's
issues. The
the-
issue
what's
is whether the kids.
One
Yeah,
second, the panel is
Yeah.
not done. And then
Go
a
on.
girl says, you know what, like,
How dare you?
uh,
But go on.
the girl is like, let a woman decide what she wants to wear. And the guy says, blah, 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 Mara Chod and all that. He gives her bad words to say, to chup bet, dash, sali. Don't tell us what to think about. So the idea is that unless you tell us to think the right way, we tell you to, dress the right way, we abuse you
I
otherwise.
think
That's- yeah.
that question came on the other side was like just oh god this sucks, but whatever. In terms of whether it's a woman's right to choose and all of those things, the question from the left came was like, these are children. So is this first of all a self-actualized decision, or is this something that your parents or the community is making you do, and you are now fighting for it because again, this is like against your freedom of expression? That's a separate thing. But then it was about choice.
That's what.
Then you talk about whether these were in the younger girls or whether these are in your 17, 18 year, like 16, 17, 18, where you have some idea of what a choice is or what you're doing. Is it really a choice? But again, that question, are you going to go and ask each person in their house, is it your choice? Is it your not? But I want to ask, did you all go to schools where you had to wear a uniform?
We all, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Cyrus and I went, I'll speak for myself. I went to a very strict school to the point where you weren't even allowed to have a different colored hair clip. You weren't allowed to have your
There were
nails
different
passed
times, Ayushi. This whole religious sort of empowerment wasn't there in a sense also. We didn't even have a sense of religiosity in our schools.
We didn't have
urban-
it. I think it's not like religiosity. It was like if your hair went below
Yeah,
the
correct. You're
thing,
right.
you had to
The
bring it.
hemline, the
Yes,
thing, the
and
that,
yes,
the
hemline went up, you
hairbands.
got a minus
So
point.
was hijab allowed at the school?
No question.
no,
No, not
we
allowed.
didn't have-
Nobody
it wasn't
wanted.
one second. It wasn't
Nobody
allowed.
wanted,
It
yeah.
wasn't allowed.
I don't remember. this.
But now that I think about it, we did have one or two Sikh boys who did wear their I don't know what the
That's a
word is for
fantastic
the
point, though,
smaller
you know.
no, for the smaller one.
Okay.
No, but that's a fantastic point. Nobody has a problem with the Sikhs wearing their turban. I mean, they don't even think twice about it. Nobody
But
ever
that's
does.
what they're
Because
saying,
you're
right?
not covered. No, but then Cyrus, actually most
No,
of the kids
so-
that went, they were all Katsurds. So like it wasn't
No,
like
that is their choice. What I'm
That's
saying
their-
is that if
so
they
that was
came
it,
in
that
with a
was their
turban, they came in
choice.
with a turban. So that's the whole point here. The point here is the choice first. We're getting to the second, the democracy of the religion, and whether the woman is being empowered or not, or being submissive, or being told what to do.
100%.
Point two. Point one is they have the right to come in there and express themselves or not. That's the question that we're asking. Does the school say, okay, this is our uniform and this is how it is? Which is also, there's something in that. Like you just said, in the more elite schools, there wasn't really too much of. You just follow the uniform, the hair length, the hemline,
You
the
weren't
tie. All that
allowed.
was more important.
They used to bring in the barber, like to cut all
Yeah.
the boys' hair in school.
Yeah,
They used to
yeah.
sit like in
Yeah,
the
The barber
cricket
was a
like in
failed
that
head
little
boy
thing
from
and
the
sit-
70s who didn't get a job after
And
that, but he was
first
great.
of all,
Yeah.
I would raise questions of like hygiene. What is this?
No.
No, that was not even.
No,
You didn't
no.
have that thing. It was like
I mean-
your hair is touching your ear. You will get it cut right
Right
now,
now,
and
yeah.
now you
Just
will
with a
pay
pair
the
of
school.
scissors
Yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe
That
some
happened to us
oil.
also.
It was
We
nothing
had the
rudimentary
Saturday mass
stuff.
drill,
Yeah.
where after we were leaving the ground, the PT teachers would inspect every one of our fingernails and our shoes if they were not white. And already we were on the ground, in the muddy ground, and our shoes bound to be brown by the end of the
Yeah,
1 hour thing. But they're still like, if it's not white to our liking, we won't give you the entry to your class.
So
Go back to
there's
the
also-
ground and then do 10 rounds or whatever. And we
there's
would
also
press our
different-
fingernails like this. That PT teacher,
Oh,
what a
what?
bastard,
Naveen.
dude. He
Yeah,
was.
dude.
So the
Yeah,
problems
then-
were a little different. The
In
religion
Bombay.
didn't really come
Bombay,
into
yeah.
it. It was more
Yeah.
about discipline. It didn't come into it so much. But
Okay,
Yeah, but
so-
we were a convent school, hardcore
But
Catholics, but
fair
still we
enough,
had like
fair enough.
Bori Muslims, Punjabi kids who were allowed
But then,
to wear their
look, we
garbs,
can
I
take
think.
this further, and they'll say, okay, when you're reciting hymns, you shouldn't do it because I'm Hindu or Muslim, and I don't want to do Christian hymns, for example.
You were
and
Yeah.
not
that
given a
started.
choice.
No, we
You
had
were
like
not given a
we had a clear
choice.
partition actually. Like we had to
Really?
attend Friday evening masses in the church while the Hindu kids could chill in the class and
You
have-
were allowed to
Oh, cool, man.
switch out. I was
Fine.
not. I've been indoctrinated into the
no,
law.
yeah, we were allowed to
Jesus
like have
Christ
like
is my
proper
savior.
segregation. Yeah, amen to that.
I know.
First-
I
know
was in a
more-
school called Sharda Mandir,
I know
but it wasn't a
more
mandir. Just
Christian
saying.
hymns. I know more Christian hymns than I know any Hindu bhajans.
Yeah,
Because that's just
the only common thing was in the morning where they
No judgment here, but how do you feel about that? Is that good or bad?
it's
Born
brainwashing.
Hindu, raised Christian.
I mean, you have
lives
to
in
have
the
your
West.
garvapsi at some point. So like learn whatever you want to.
But
Come back.
you know,
come
if
back
you
to the
then you
fold.
talk about, then there was a issue of safety and all also that our school used to take, where we used to have if you
Yeah.
had pee in the last period or whatever and you're wearing shorts, you couldn't leave school till you put your dress back on. So even if it was the last, like the bell rang, I'm ready to grab my bag and
What kind
head
of
out.
girls are
No,
running
no,
around
no, no.
without dresses?
This is like
You have to put it on top of your
Oh.
shorts because you couldn't leave school, the premises, while wearing shorts because it's not safe. Now, that raised so many questions. There was so much anger, but then sometimes you had like these kind of people who would like lech outside school and you're like, yeah, should wear the
You're
dress
talking to
and go.
Naveen and
Yeah.
Silverie. They were the two people standing out of every girls' school. But
I did
Prachi,
see you in your
sound like
Muslims
a-
No, but
outside.
Naveen knew, like, you already
Can we
knew
get-
that.
can we get
you
Prachu's
were there.
thing back?
I mean, I was not outside the school then.
Prachu,
Oh, yeah. So that's
who's a
what
good
you were
friend of
doing.
mine
The
from
kids in the
Jaipur,
school.
leading cricketer. Just before
I'm
Anuj,
from
Prachu
yeah.
said $50 fine for white shoes getting dirty. These kind of things were happening. So I'm
Yeah.
just saying that
That
it was
happened to us
more
also.
militant
Correct.
about the discipline and not so much about the
Yeah.
religious issues.
No,
It's
it was.
all
You're
changed
right.
in the
You're
last
right. It was
few
it was
years.
very discipline and rule oriented, and like you have to follow X, Y, Z,
There it
otherwise
goes.
you will be penalized.
So
I
no
think
white
our
shoes,
schools were
50
more like
rupees
that.
fine.
This was not about religion.
Yeah, this 1 year, like everybody had lace shoes, like the Bata ones for wearing them. And then my cousin gave me a hand-me-down, like one of those, nice tapered shoes that you wear for weddings.
Oh, wow,
And I
yeah.
just wore one semester those, and
Right.
nobody saw it for a little while because I was still at the back.
Yeah.
Then the teacher saw because it had fake lace. Okay, one of those bows things they put on the front.
I love
So they
that. What
assumed
a
I was
great
tying my
invention.
lace for an
That's
entire
so
Great
Those
semester.
invention
slip-ons.
that is.
You're wearing
It
slip-ons.
saves
I
you
was wearing
16
slip-ons. I was wearing
seconds a day.
loafers for an entire
Slip-ons,
semester
lovely.
because
Great idea.
yeah, it was amazing. And then they called out, and then by the time the slip-ons also I have monkey feet, so they all tear from the side like this. like all hobo things happen to my shoes.
What is monkey?
Can we see the feet?
Have you
Can put the
seen
feet up?
X-Men First Class?
Show the feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, how he
these-
has like big feet and he has
Yeah.
to pull them out of the shoes. I have those kind of feet. So every shoe is like one size bigger for me because I have like very flat feet, like a duck almost.
Oh.
Can you
So,
show the
I
yeah.
didn't
feet
know
to
that
the
was called
camera?
monkey
Just put
feet.
your
No,
one foot
I'm
up.
wearing shoes and socks and it'll stink around.
Why are
here.
you wearing shoes and socks? What are you
No,
going to
no,
down
I
the
don't
joint?
want any shoes.
I have
being taken off
upgraded in
the
life.
street.
You're not wearing shoes and
standards,
socks.
yeah.
Wow.
It's normal.
Showing
See,
off
I'm
with the
office
wealth,
now.
bro.
You feel like wearing a shoe
Showing
in
off-
this office now.
Showing off with the
In
wealth.
the old office, you
Unbelievable.
used to show up
Yeah,
in
that's
like
true.
chuddies and
That's true.
I'm still in
You want your
chuddies.
job back? Naveen, do you want your job back? They're paying better. You want your job back?
Naveen, do you?
I hear. I'm
Silverie,
taking one
you're
step
safe.
at a time. I'm
You
this is the
got
first
equity
level.
in the company from what I gather. You're all good, bro. You don't have to worry about
You
anything. Your
what?
seventh car.
I mean, yeah, they
He has
they
equity.
have
Yeah.
They
ESOPs,
gave him
no?
equity and not me. I got nothing.
Yeah.
Cyrus, you have everything else. You have
What
like
have I got?
all the shows. You have all
Yeah.
the shows.
I have one show which we call two names. I mean, we cheated the audience from the beginning. We're disgusting.
Yeah,
You
all the
can't-
fans.
You have a
Uh,
wife. Antariksh doesn't. Okay, that's the jewel of your life.
Yeah.
That's the value
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
there.
Not always an
children who
advantage
love
to have
you.
a wife,
Can
but
she
fair
hear
Yeah.
enough.
me? Can she hear me?
No, she
No, she can't. We've sent her out of the room now. There's only men allowed in the office.
Get
We're
Tarun
going with the
Kaushik is saying
government.
in our school they used to cut the people's hair who had long hair. So teachers
Yeah.
basically like he's a clandestine barber also. He just like
आज 100
Why
रुपए
the
कमाए मैंने.
Why the English teacher? There must be some connection there. Why the English teacher? There must be something he's not telling
No,
us.
but I've noticed English teachers are like sometimes very anal. Like we had this one teacher who was like
Cyrus, That
Sorry.
word,
It's-
of
it's
course.
either
Of course you
unnecessary.
take that.
It's been a horrible
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
It's
so-
not his
I'm just gonna.
demographic.
It is the
It's
worst
just-
show,
Exactly.
language-wise.
Yeah.
or
Worst show.
air be in front of it and it's banal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ayushi
So-
used a couple of bad words without even knowing it. Amit style. Okay, they just came out in a point. So I'm just telling you,
Did I?
everybody's
Anal
guilty.
is a
Yeah,
scientific
you
word,
can sleep
guys.
later.
I don't know
Yeah.
why we are like being so
Yeah, correct.
facetious
So
about
is
it.
oral, but yeah, go
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Devil
what you
science
used to do
scripture
in
for
exams,
purposes.
right?
Exactly.
Sweater
When you
rolls.
want
Yes,
to
sorry.
perspective
Why-
change.
Why is oral written exam is anal?
The only time there's no bad language is the 2-3 points of view from the people watching. That's the only clean
Oh,
words
shit.
we've had so far.
Yeah,
but coming back,
like
yeah, sorry.
our English teacher used to make us kneel on the desk. You know how embarrassing that is? Like if you kneel down, like you're kind of like below the surface level of everybody staring at you, so you're fine.
Right.
When you're kneeling on the desk on like you're on like Titanic with like rows.
But how
of
do the
gaps
fat
over there.
boys fit on a desk like that and not fall over?
Exactly. I
thinking
was
of
fat my
Bedar
entire life and it was
Bacha,
so
Minal
embarrassing.
Pasala
And
I grew up
sometimes she
with.
would bring salt. She would bring salt and put it on the fucking desk also.
Why do you put
Why?
salt on the desk?
Because if you kneel on salt, your knees get bruised. No.
What kind
Oh,
of
Demented
Wow, yeah.
psychopath
I
she
thought,
was.
you know what I thought,
Like most of
Silverie?
the teachers were
She's
chill.
going to eat Naveen. Get some salt and
She's man-eating.
Did you guys-
Eat me out more like
Did you guys get thrown out of your classes often?
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
I
all the
was
time.
like,
Cyrus?
after 7th grade, I had no
What
time.
do you mean?
I-
Cyrus was probably
I'm
not
sure,
in
right?
class.
Yeah, he was always.
Ever.
I'm sure you were
I
like
got-
talking a lot.
I got thrown
You were
out
always
of home
last bench or
science.
something.
How do you get thrown out of home science? You know, I mean, you're the nicest
You had home
teacher.
science.
You
It's
had
the
home
easiest
Why
thing.
were you taking home
We
science?
didn't
I
have
was
home
thrown out
science.
of. I
No
went. We did.
computers.
We went for scripture first. It was too difficult. Then moral science. It was too difficult. Then changed to home science. We thought that was really easy. And then we just thrown out of home science.
I got
It was a
thrown
very
out of
embarrassing
art.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Has the bell
Uh,
gone?
Why? Why were
There,
you thrown out
art.
of
How do
art?
you get thrown out of
Were
art?
you just
Art is
talking?
not
Was it
good.
because just talking?
No, because our entire he told us to bring something, a picture that then we had to turn it into something, whatever. And none of us came with a picture. And to the point where someone took our photo picture out of the school diary. We're like, yeah, I got a picture.
Wow.
This picture. And he was like, this is ridiculous. He threw all of us out and he called our principal.
Yeah.
And she comes up all the way to the 5th floor to the art room and she sees the entire art student, or like 8, 9
Oh,
of us
God.
sitting outside. And she was like, why have you called me for this? Just go back in. She herself was like, I don't give a fuck about being told about the art.
Again,
Yeah, yeah.
it slipped out.
See, I was also thrown out of arts class. People are
Yeah.
relating to us on
I
7th level.
I got once after break, right? We played an extra 20 minutes of basketball because we hated the upcoming physics period. We didn't want to go physics.
You don't have to say
after
hated.
20
When you
minutes.
say physics
Ha-
period, everybody understands what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Yeah.
So out of like the 35 student class, there were 30 students who were just playing. 5 students were back in class.
Those
That's a
5
very big
are
team.
the
Yeah.
actual bastards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Those Deshdrohis.
Pieces of shit.
Yeah. So
Third
we come
nuggets.
back and all 30 of us are punished to the point where we were preparing for our whatever house sports day, for the sports day, right? Going for the sports day and all of us were not allowed to compete. The 30 people who were playing basketball, like, no, you won't complete for
But
sports day.
isn't that quite counterproductive? Because suppose that you are the person playing basketball, it would indicate some sort of athleticism or inclination towards.
And that's when
Yeah.
I gave up basketball after that. I
And-
never
and
played
And then you're making
yeah.
them not go to
Screw you,
like,
authority
space
also. Like
sports.
you're going against all of that. And first of
Yeah.
all, when you bunk as a bigger group now, you have more solidarity, I feel.
Yeah, that's absolutely
Because,
like,
like, how will you
cares?
terminate 30
Yeah,
of
you're all
us?
laughing about it.
Yeah.
That's the best.
It's one time in
Alone
my
is,
class,
yeah.
in 8th grade, we put snuff powder in the fan, guys. Like we were that, like,
What?
the more, A word the teachers were, the more A word we became.
Dude, similar in boarding school. One of my classmates once on the teacher's chair, right, put that that plant that makes you itch. Like you rub it on the
Bruce
skin. And the
Wayne
plant
said-
just gives you
Oh,
like
yeah,
this
Sorry,
yeah,
it's
and
a
that
Silverie
as well.
buying
My
another
juniors
car.
have done that.
Yeah, they've done
This is a
that.
better
Yeah.
Silverie,
Poison
read the
ivy.
comments. They're funnier than your stupid
Let
story.
me guess
It's
this
hilarious.
story and
Story ends with buying another car.
We missed
How
Ruben
many
David
cars
had a
do
good
you
one. You
have?
didn't even see that.
Enough.
Yeah, the teacher said,
Yeah.
"Has the bell gone?" And he said, "No, it's still there, ma'am," or something. I mean, these are the nice reasons to be thrown out. Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my diploma
Nice,
college,
Ruben.
actually, my
Nice,
friend and I
Ruben.
bunked a class, and then we knew where the bell was kept. Ringed every 1 hour, right?
Yeah.
We rang it like 45 minutes before and ran away. And then everybody left the
Yes.
classes because they thought
Very
the
funny.
official bell is gone.
But did you get
And
caught?
yeah. No. That was not like nobody could. run
Nobody had
after us.
CCTV those days.
There was no CCTV camera. It
Yeah.
was like St. Xavier's in Mahim. Like it's got no budget altogether.
Okay, Shobik's
If I
come up
shout
with a
out-
theory.
If I give the shout out to this college, they'll actually do better in life. So I'm actually like, doing this. They'll appreciate because they call me back as an alumni who was respected. They think I'm doing something noble with my
Wow,
life.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Very cool.
No, but listen.
Why does every
what
school
you-
teacher
what do
have
you think is
PE
also
teacher and
therapy?
English
So it's very
teacher?
good. Yeah, why does every
Yeah.
PT teacher and English teacher love story happen in school? Is that correct? I can't
No,
remember.
no,
Maybe.
no. That's not true.
But PT teacher and someone else is very
Yeah.
often. Yeah.
PE teacher
Our
and
PT
English
teacher
teacher
was-
is not
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
There's
We had
a
a power
hierarchy.
team,
English
yeah.
teachers are way higher than a
PT teacher and computer
Correct.
teacher.
But sometimes that
I've seen that.
opposites attract.
Yeah.
Usually, sometimes like me and my wife, I am very sophisticated, refined, well-developed
Okay.
individual, and then she's, well, she is who she is, but we get along like really well. So
I
it's
think
not
people-
impossible.
But which of you
That's
plays the
true.
PT teacher? Which of you plays the English teacher?
Yeah, who blows
She
the
plays
whistle,
both.
Cyrus?
She plays both. I just watch.
Cyrus is
I'm
sitting
like,
outside the class, no?
I'm an Indian male.
Savdhan Vishram.
Great.
So this was about
She
hijab.
can't hear anything.
So yeah, we just.
When
Oh,
have
sorry.
we ever
Hijab,
been
hijab.
off topic?
Final words. We have to go to break then. So hijab. What were we saying?
The problem we
let's-
found
can
out
we
that
just call it
schools
for
are
what it is?
already, like,
It's also
problematic
baiting-
across the-
It's baiting a
Mhm.
religious group which is going on more than anything else before you get into the
Yeah,
rights or
that's the
wrongs of
thing.
it,
But
which is just like
here's the
mischievous. Okay,
One of the
I'm
most-
from Bangalore.
Ignore
And I
that.
just have one hot take on this, which I don't know if people who are watching are from Karnataka will understand this. Unlike
What do you mean?
Muslims, one
The
second,
people who
let
watch
me
the
say-
show are from different parts of India, but they all understand.
Why are you making this a communal issue?
I'm not. I'm just giving it a very,
And
very
what's the
clear
prejudice
understanding of.
Karnataka
Guys,
is
we
like the
cannot-
IT hub of
we
India.
cannot
It's a very
piss off
intelligent-
people.
I'm the voice
I
of
did
reason
a
over
very
here. Can
terrible
we
thing
like?
yesterday. Let's
No,
not.
no, it's not. It's not
Let's
pissing
not piss off
anybody
more
off.
You did a very
It's a
terrible
very
thing
obvious.
yesterday.
It's a very clear thing. I'm just making it very
You
obvious.
did a
Like,
Jimmy Carr moment.
so the reason like North India is like the Islamist or Muslim community in the what am I saying?
What do
You'll
you,
have-
you want to think about
You'll
what you're
have
saying before you
befuddled me
say
so
it?
much now.
Why drag Ayushi
Hey,
Silverie
yeah,
is
Wait.
let
down
him,
with the
let
Titanic?
him
Wait.
get through this thought.
The Muslim community in the north has always been like they came from like empires and like they acquired North India, so to say. But South Muslims have always been like traders who just settled down. They were just like chill Muslims who turned up, and they're very prosperous and well-to-do as well. And for the longest time, that has gone off their radar. And when I also go to Mangalore, I went recently. There's a lot of this undissented, like even with Catholics and even with like the whole communities, like how are they prosperous than us? How are they being better than us? In that regard, where this is going right now is for somebody from Karnataka, because it was very quiet all this while. There was certain erupting points, but this has become very communal very fast because of the fact that there's all this resentment that's built up, and
I
always
agree with Jacob.
yeah. So that's what it's been for the longest time.
She agreed
So-
with Jacob. You didn't see what he said. Yeah. But just to point out
Okay,
historically,
Jeffy Jacob,
lots
you're
of,
from Kerala.
lots of the Deccan had lots of Muslim rulers as well. Whether you look at Hyderabad or Tipu Sultan,
Yeah.
Karnataka, who you mentioned, there's plenty of that
Yeah.
too. So it's not as one-sided as you think that empire was built by Islamic royalty from the north alone. But I get what you're trying to
Have you
say.
guys?
I think
But-
Have you guys seen the
There's a
videos?
sense-
the problem with
of-
this is the fact that you forget, even if you just take the religion also out of this, there's young girls who are trying to go to school and
Yeah.
who are being harassed
bullying
on their
them.
way.
Yeah,
to school.
exactly. Those
Forget
videos are
everything
crazy,
else.
man.
It's the fact that you are literally pursuing, first of all, a minor. This is like this should be
Yeah.
this is illegal.
It's
It's an
vicious.
offense. It doesn't matter
malicious and
about
vicious behavior.
exact.
no
It's
question.
unsafe. That's the problem here. That and everyone like just like voyeurs is watching this and feeding this
Correct.
news cycle that makes it seem like no,
Yeah.
you're giving it more credence, you're giving it
Yeah.
more attention by
And you
fueling
right.
this thing, and it's like just
I know going into the depths actually is wrong in a sense, because it's the surface thing which is the issue, which is exactly what she said, the act of malice and mischief which is going on, and you're just destroying the psyche of kids, young girls, what have you. It's unnecessary. Then you want to
Releasing
have an intellectual
information and
debate
everything
and
is
talk
kind
about
of
the
like, yeah.
religion has to cleanse itself, and
that's
are
what
we
you
liberal or not liberal? That doesn't even come into the picture. But initially, this is what happened. Let's deal with that.
yeah, 100%. And now it's like this obfuscation of like 5 different issues all together, and then it's now left
Well,
and
you
right,
can't use
and
words
again
like obfuscation and all that, because that upsets Silverie. Go back to F and B and all that. It's more comfortable with that shit. Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, sure.
Clearly, ruling party is sponsoring this show.
Sponsoring the show.
I mean,
Sponsoring
you
more like fueling.
cross roads with your philosophy. Everybody's confused now. They don't know what stand we took. I think Ayushi tried to save us and explain that we just don't want anybody to be bullied. But
I let me make very clear before
Please
anyone
be
gets some wrong idea. 100% against this situation of, first of all, it is a freedom of expression. It is your freedom of religion. You should be allowed to express it as long as you're doing it in a way that's not harming anyone else. And wearing a scarf over your head, believe me, is more
Yeah.
discomfort to myself than it is any offense to anyone
Correct.
else. So if I'm okay with it and I want to do it, the fuck is your problem? Just teach, nah. Just teach.
12-year-old girls, for God's sake. I mean, it's so unnecessary to pick on them. Groups of men shouting slogans outside. I'm like, come on, for God's sake.
And
Imagine if it's your
also,
daughter or cousin or nephew or whatever, niece.
and you look like such assholes, these big grown men talking about this. And who are you picking on? Who are you? Just think about who you have picked to fight with. A young girl That's what this is like. Kanye fighting with Pete Davidson. Are you kidding me? Like, what's wrong with
Kanye
you?
fighting
From
the
left
entire
field.
internet actually at this point.
Like, I'm just saying, like,
Wow.
what is it? What are you trying to gain from this? What is the best case scenario end here? What happens?
Bragging rights, right? Like that's what it is always.
No,
for
you
the
just
ruling
create
party.
hate. You just create
Yeah.
hatred for nothing and polarize communities for
But that's
nothing.
not where
And
it
then
will
we
stop, right?
waste our podcast discussing it like this when we had so much fairly noble things to talk about. Like, what the hell is in this green bottle?
But it
But,
will
you
it
know.
will also escalate also to like abhi hijab hai, so next they will go for the Sikh turban and they will go for the
They
other
can't go for
religions.
the
They
Muslims.
won't. They won't go
Our
for the
country is
turban.
based on.
You
We
don't think
can't
so?
do that. We're too
No.
secular country. It just
You
doesn't work.
can't
We
go
have
for the
to. Jisko
turban.
jaisa.
Because Punjab is
India
Are
is a
you
jisko jaisa
mad?
country. Can't
There's
work
There's
anywhere
elections
else.
happening in the north. You're gonna
Yeah,
plant your
exactly.
next crop.
Are
You're
you
gonna plant your
crazy?
next crop. You're gonna raise. Do you know the
already
prime minister
the
is coming?
farmers are already.
They're
This is
coming
not
out with
Paris.
all these
Yeah.
agricultural policies that we want to export. You
Compromises.
cannot
Yeah.
piss off your farming community at
Yeah.
all.
Let the
This is a
shipping
community that's
experts
able
speak.
to.
Even though Punjab is not near the
But
sea,
then what
he
I'm
is
saying,
right.
like it'll be other communities. It will get to the Christian community maybe, if not the Sikhs.
No,
you
no,
know,
no,
it
bro,
will
bro, bro.
Yeah.
go.
This
It could
Modi
go
showed
other
up in
places
Jalandhar
also.
in a turban. just
Those
to
are,
appease
Egalitarian
them.
Europe
those are
can try
model
all this. It
minorities.
doesn't work in
Those
India.
are model minorities. Those are not minorities that you need to go after
You know,
because you don't get anything by
Silverie,
going
so
after
then
them.
technically what you're saying, Parsis wear Shadra Kashti, the Banyani thing inside with the thing.
Yeah.
And, so I don't wear it. A lot of people don't like wearing it, whatever, non-Orthodox. But if you tell me not to wear it, then again, you start, why would you,
Exactly.
Yeah.
how can you impose that thought?
But are you only wearing that to school? That's the question, right? Like you're not
No,
wearing
see,
only your
It's
inside.
the same premise, actually. In a way, it's the same premise because, you're
Actually,
telling me
you
that
know
you
what?
should be
All the
having wearing
Parsi
it.
boys in school used to wear that underneath their uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
but
All
you
of
didn't
them
know,
used to
so
wear
it was okay. But you could see the little tail coming out
Yeah.
You could
sometimes.
see,
and-
you could
yeah.
see the inside of the.
Yeah.
I know
That's
some guys
including
used
like
to ask. Somebody thought
I
we had
remember.
a bra on or something when they saw the little thing coming out, and
Oh,
I personally did have a
Don't
bra,
even
but the others
start
didn't.
about the bra. Like, my God, if your strap was showing a little bit, it was like, stop your distract. Well, why are you looking?
Wow.
You see,
Yeah.
the Queen
That's
Mary girls
terrible.
in St. Xavier's first year, they taught me how to pull bra straps off the girls in front, and it was like
What?
allowed, no Me Too, nothing. So we do the bra strap pull and smack, the sting.
Yeah.
What?
You're right,
Yeah.
though. You're
Yeah,
right, though.
I-
that's how
Because
it
in,
is.
Me and my
no,
good
in
friend
school,
Neeraj Kochar, we were
this is
allowed. We were honorary women. We were allowed to do
I
But
it.
the thing is,
I don't think it's an allowed thing. It's like boys used to do that, and it's a horrible thing
boys
now if
do
you
which
think
Yeah.
about it. But
Yeah.
this was a pre-Me Too
yeah,
Oh,
it was an
Oh,
era.
time.
era.
People
Silverie,
think
Especially
she's
so.
underwear
mean.
also. Boys
She's a
underwear
mean
also used to do that
person.
from the
That
back.
was
Just
not
to pull it
necessary.
True. Yeah,
I
I've done
got
that.
like
permission
a
from the ladies.
what do you call
That's
it?
not fair.
Yeah, we used to fight with wet towels in boarding school in
veggie.
in our dorms.
Yeah, I
Wet
mean,
towel
those
like
are-
thak karke
Pungi was common. Like everybody's nipples were
Yes.
up for grabs
Yeah.
at that age.
I just remembered
You
we used
still
to
continue the practice, you
cross
evil
grab
man.
each other
I've seen
in
you in the studio.
boarding
Navin on a
school.
good day. It's Friday evening. Yeah. Hey guys, speaking of evening, it's 10:36.
Yes.
My day is nearly over. Should we take a break?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's
we
take a break.
should.
Oh, we're
You're
done?
scaring me.
No, take a
No.
break.
No, not done, not done. But hear this announcement. It's won 3 Pulitzers for some reason.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. We're so excited to bring you our next podcast by our favorite Tamil storyteller, Kavita Jiva. Venvel Seni is the story of how the Tamil kings and kingdoms united to keep South India independent of Ashoka's rule. On The Habit Coach, Ashton speaks to psychiatrist and podcaster Dr. Fred Moss. They discuss ways to deal with discomfort and boredom. On Think Fast, Varun and Suchita give us key highlights from the 2022 budget and discuss the success of audioware company Boat. On The Longest Constitution, Priya takes a look at how courts interpret cases of color blindness and maternity relief at the workplace. On Press Decode, Sarah Vagda and Profula talk about China's media censorship and Bharat Pay's infamous co-founder Ashneer Grover. And on Pulyabazi, the hosts discuss how much the government spends on defense in their special series Ek Sawal Kahi Jawab. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our others for that matter, please do tell a friend. Don't forget to rate us on any other platforms that you're listening to us, whether it's a rating, whether it's a review, it all helps. And do remember to check us out on YouTube. We have a number of channels. They're available on ivmpodcast.com/YouTube. And finally, I would like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda, CoinSwitch, Kuber, and HDFC Life Insurance. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Bank of Baroda is rebranded as Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do
I've been
you
calling
feel
it
about
Bob all
And
my
that?
life.
small case Bob.
Yeah.
Now Cyrus is gonna ask Ayushi whether she loves Amit.
And in Gujarati, we say Bob. So let's just not confuse
Yeah.
these two. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll Bob ke.
Bob in Konkani is
Bob
to
Bobbies.
scream at somebody.
Bob.
Really? Using
Yeah.
a full sentence?
Bob Martha. Tumaka Bo Martha. Bob Martha. Yeah, like that.
That's boom.
That's Boom or Bob?
No, that's
Boom.
bomb. Because in
what?
Gujarati,
That's in
also
many-
it's
I
like
learned
bomb.
yeah,
I learned
Gujarati,
wrong
many
culture on
languages.
this podcast.
No, no,
You know what
Bom
you
is
do
from
with-
Bombay. B-O-M.
Hey,
In
bro,
Gujarati,
Navin, that's
boom
terrible.
is like he's shouting.
I know.
Yeah.
That's in Gujarati. That's
So, for example,
So-
like the Konkani word for smell
He's making
is,
up a language.
Listen. The Konkani word
Uh-huh.
for smell is
Bob the
kormol,
Builder.
which is kormol. I
Jaideep
would always say
Sagar.
kormol for no reason, and nobody corrected me until 2021 December.
Man, it's so
What an
cool that all these
embarrassment.
people understand Konkani and Marathi and Gujarati. My dad had a transferable job when I was a kid. Okay, he worked for the government. And so we had.
And you have 6 cars.
He left the government. He left the government.
You're asking
He
the
left it.
question, Ayushi.
We got
I mean,
6
where
cars
do you
after
live?
he left. After he took voluntary retirement, we got it.
Voluntary retirement.
And,
This is a very jugaad friendly situation now. I want to figure
Yeah,
out
yeah,
what's happening.
it's a scheme called VRS,
One has a
voluntary
So
code
retirement
number,
scheme.
one has a
you
Tamil
moved
Nadu
around a
number,
lot,
one is-
and so you didn't really pick up any regional
No,
language.
so I was always exempt from
the
third
language of the
language.
region.
So what
from
did you
school.
learn?
I had like free periods every third language class.
Wouldn't you have to give another
I
exam?
had to give like one project for like the semester or something. And I remember once I did it on the Mughals, and once I did it about sand in Goa because I lived in Goa 2 years.
You should run the same
And-
project everywhere you went. Now that way you don't work
Yeah,
so
exactly.
much.
It's a
Yeah,
different.
that's
Repeat
true.
it. They don't
I
know.
should have done that.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah.
Talk
if
to
only.
me.
It's
I'm
like when
crazy.
we had EVS in engineering for no reason. There was environmental studies
Yeah, you're right.
in the last few semesters of engineering. I'm like, why are we studying about the environment when we're going to ruin it by building bridges and dams?
Well played,
Learning
Navin.
how you can.
You've
do it.
redeemed yourself with a beautiful,
That's what I
profound
do.
piece of
I go
comedy.
low and then I
Yeah.
go high.
Then you come back fighting, boom, boom. Yeah.
Boom, boom.
But there's an elephant in the room you're not talking about, and that is, do you think Varun and Sujita are more than friends?
Who are they?
Oh, silence.
What?
Good response again from Naveen.
Who are they?
Oh, I have no
Oh,
idea.
wow.
No, they are hosts on another show, right?
Correct.
Could you repeat the names?
Oh shit! I was confused, and then I realized he works here.
Yeah.
right.
What names
Then
were they?
Varun, I heard Varun.
Varun,
Okay, Varun
and,
and Sujita.
Sujita. Oh yeah, the Think
Sujita.
Fast. Host of Think Fast. Yeah.
they were on our
Are they
show
having
2
a
weeks
thing?
back,
that?
bro.
They're having a thing?
They've
They're
never
having a
met,
thing?
but it sounds very romantic. Their
No,
chemistry
okay.
and their.
They've
Yeah.
never met.
So yeah, they started a
Physically never
podcast together,
met,
they never met.
but it's like
Yeah,
Harry Met Sally, or what is it?
Yeah.
Other
One
movie
second,
where
one
they
second, one
do-
second.
they're
No,
emailing
go
each
back.
other.
XOXO Gossip Girl.
No, cancel all of this. They started a show
Yeah.
having never met in person,
Yeah.
and now they
They
have
still
a
haven't.
successful show, the two of them together, and they still haven't met.
Yeah.
And you are
Super
telling me this
successful.
is not an episode of Modern Love on like Prime or
Yes!
something.
They're both married, I
Finally.
think.
Finally.
That's what it
Hey,
is.
They're married to other people.
Other people,
Other-
yeah. It's a whole thing.
No, they're married to each other and
Yeah.
they haven't met.
Bro.
That'd be even hilarious.
That would be amazing.
You're just giving details. It doesn't. There's a lot of chemistry there. I'm just saying. I don't want to spin something bad out of it. But
Which
Oh,
means
it's not
finally,
bad or
Cyrus,
good.
you've
There's
heard
no
another
bad or good
podcast
anyway.
apart from your own on this network. That means if you're listening to them and the chemistry is very
You
No,
obvious
no,
to you.
no. They have come on the show. That's how Cyrus
Oh,
knows,
that's
man.
why,
There's
that's
no
why.
What are you
chance
talking
he's
about?
For
heard
God's
another
sake, stop.
show.
I'm
Next you call me.
sorry. I
Next you
thought
call
better
me
of you for a
professional. Please be careful.
second.
What you say in public.
Oh, shit.
People will really
I
laugh
take
at
it
you
back.
now. Yeah. Okay. Before we do AMAs, is there any one topic? We've done the hijab. That's it.
I think
Yeah, absolutely.
the woman who got caught with the methamphetamines. I think we should we talk about that.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I didn't read that story.
Okay, no, I
You
was
should.
gonna talk about the traffic caused on
Ah.
Sunday.
No, I want to
So on
talk about
Sunday
how
it
you
happened.
recognize.
Traffic.
We will do traffic next, but let's do the thing about your being celebrated in Pune, world famous in parts of the Deccan.
yeah. Okay, this is great. So this past weekend, I was at a cousin's wedding. Congratulations,
Did you
Anisha.
drive there?
Yeah, I did with
In
family
like how many cars?
in one car, and then we had a cavalcade. We were the VVIPs.
They also
causing
have a
traffic.
bus.
Oh,
They own a
you,
bus.
you had to. Kurish, I mean, really. Oh,
Yeah,
They own a
No, no.
trailer
Don't
and a
try
bus.
to be a leftist on the show, okay? Because there's no way. No one's going to accept it now.
Yeah. uh,
There's no exit. There's no left or right.
Go on.
one car. We took our Innova this time and drove down to Pune, cousin's wedding. And she at the wedding is introducing me to her friends, like, oh hey, they meet this person and that person, and she introduced me to a person called Varun Ramesh. Okay, he goes, Varun Ramesh sees me, he goes, Antariksh, Cyrus says Silverie, and he was a fan of the show. He's heard every single episode till the last 3 episodes. I hope you've caught up now, Ramesh. I'm Varun. I'm
Yeah.
giving track.
So you mentioned
And
Kanye.
his dad,
who
he
has-
said, he mentioned his
Sure,
dad was a
that's
huge
like
fan of
a
yours,
huge
Cyrus.
Stretch, okay?
No,
Leaving
I'm
the
saying that
Randy.
Kanye has
Dude,
millions
I
of
got it
fans.
yesterday.
So,
Someone else told
we
me
have
this
one
yesterday. that's what
fan.
I'm talking
His
about.
father is
One
your
fan.
fan, and
Well, I
he is
guess
his
Ranveer
fan.
Kapoor also
So
has
Antariksh
one
is your
fan.
son now, Cyrus. Technically, he's like you have to adopt him at this point.
Yeah.
I don't have the kind of cars and wealth
Very
to keep
cool.
him happy.
Yeah,
And
he
if
brings
you
his
go
own
to
car.
Pune-
That's the whole
And
point.
Pune
Varun
brings
had
his
a
own
criticism
posse.
though. Varun had a criticism that I do
Of
not
course he
pick
does.
his AMA questions. Okay.
Of course he does.
So can
Yeah,
you pick
he
his
has
AMA
one
question?
today.
Yeah.
Now
So
we'll
then I went back and looked.
You're
In our
affecting
mails.
Abhinav.
In our mails,
Huh.
whether he had ever sent one. And he has sent one, and I think we already covered this, but I'll just ask it again so that
Yeah.
Varun feels like
Yeah.
he's
Now
included.
you've given him so much footage.
You know,
he's the
also I
sponsor
should
of the
say.
show.
So I met him on
Huh.
the first day of the the first event, right? And the next 3 functions that I met him, I got a little awkward in front of him.
Because you don't know where to
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, and now I don't know
You
what.
should meet them on the wedding day, not like
Yeah,
on the haldi day.
exactly.
You know what
Not
I'm
on the exactly.
Yeah,
That's
He
This
felt
happened
the
to me at my
pressure of
cousin's wedding.
performance.
Yeah, it's like,
anxiety.
now what do I
Because now
say,
he
man?
has to tell jokes
yeah,
and
What
be
was his
funny.
question? What was his question?
Okay, so it's a slightly long question. I'll paraphrase as much as I can. He goes, okay, this is hi Cyrus, Silverie, Amit, guest, and Abbas. This is he says because Abbas will always be in my heart. Is
One
what
sec, you had to
what he
pick this
says.
one for Naveen. Really make him feel
I
bad.
mean, Naveen is left out. Sorry, Naveen.
I started the AMA, so I don't feel any bad about it.
Okay.
That's true. That is true. That is true. And he chose the theme music. That's him, Cyrus. The
Yeah.
theme music of
So,
Cyrus.
Naveen, that
All
was
of you are wondering
fabulous
who did
choice.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I was
You used
between
to
you,
work on
Mozart,
Cyrus's
Bach, and
show?
Beethoven.
I was hired for
that was
Cyrus
phase
only
four.
because nobody
Yeah.
could handle him.
Oh,
Then I had to
Really?
I
do
didn't
this.
know this.
Yeah, that was a pitch.
Silverie, please share the details of next few weddings you will be attending.
That's almost stalkery.
Oh man.
Hey, Ruben's on a roll.
You have a
Yeah,
Bharat
yeah.
now.
But if
Yeah.
you're a fan of this show, we celebrate you because there's such few of them. You get your own podcast. Now we've done 15 minutes on Varun already. Go on,
Yeah.
Silverie. What's
So
the
he
question?
says, Varun says, I'm currently working here in the US. Cries in H1B. That's what he says.
Oh, it's a visa issue.
Yeah, it's a visa thing.
Hmm.
Cyrus, my dad's a massive fan of your show, and our Sunday evenings always have the week that wasn't on
That show.
at dot
So
dot
much for the
over. What does
podcast.
that mean? Forgot the time, but yeah, that's what he says. So on
Hey
at
man, you're
dot
supposed to be
You're
paraphrasing.
paraphrasing.
this.
You're
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
Paraphrasing.
verbatim.
Okay,
It's like saying.
He says, my question for Amit, which he's not here, is do Indians who go west, the US especially, tend to get whitewashed and become snobbish?
No.
So as Amit
Huh?
would say, yeah, I mean, when you go to America, like you just get a little bit into the culture. So like, you know,
Yeah,
all
I
of
mean,
that.
like,
Oh, can we get Ayushi do the accents from now on? Like,
Yeah.
No, no,
with the
he-
traditional
he-
all the way.
One second,
Yeah,
he'll
that's
fire
great.
me.
That was a great accent.
No,
man.
that was a pretty, almost the perfect one.
That was
Now
point.
let's go to
Yeah.
Silverie.
Half.
Silverie, do the American accent.
No, you read the bloody.
Hello, what is happening, my dear friends?
you sound like a circus juggler.
Sounds like Santa Claus.
Really?
That's not-
Good evening, everybody. Today we have
Hello.
the tigers jumping through the holes. That's what he's channeling right now.
100% ringing
Yeah.
you.
That's great.
What was the question?
No, that's become snobbish. And I face this a lot with my family members living in the US. They tend to downplay anything India does,
Oh,
or
acha, acha.
call
The-
it
so it's
an
not
American ripoff,
snobbish,
but are
It's
quick to
looking
shit
down on
India.
the Indianness versus being
Yeah,
westernized in a sense. That I don't know that happens all the time, but there are a
I
few
think that's
cases.
very particular to his family because
But it
I've
also
seen
happens in
every
South
NRI
Mumbai.
go out and become
We
more
look down on
Indian.
the
The
rest of India.
opposite.
Yeah, they become more culturally sound. They
All my cousins
No,
who
I
are
think he's
there are
talking
like
about-
so much more
They have
involved in
curfews.
Indian culture than
But
Yeah.
than
I think
sometimes people
emotional-
will like go for a few
emotional
months and then
connect
come
is
back,
more.
and then suddenly they'll have like a great,
Yeah.
a crazy accent.
They're like, I want a bindi.
Yeah.
Like that's what the whole thing is.
I don't know, but after
Exactly.
the traffic
Like-
we've had in Mumbai
No,
last
that's obvious.
7 days, if you go somewhere, why are you coming back? You know, it makes no sense.
Yeah, having dated an NRI, I'll tell you this exactly why because they
Dated
when the
an
whole-
NRI? Wow.
Yeah. I tried hard to get out of India, some way or the other. I'm like, I suck dick to get out of this country, please, and then nothing happened.
The
He
Desi
was only in
dream.
Dubai. I'm like,
He-
shit.
That's
was
not
it the
far enough.
Desi
Yeah,
dream
yeah.
or
I
dream
can't-
Desi
I can't
for
even
you?
suck dick over there. Shit.
Yeah.
No, but when demonetization happened, I remember like the whole.
Hey, Ayushi,
entire
don't knock
week was-
Dubai. I love Dubai. What great food.
Yeah,
Go
go to the expo. No. So when demonetization happened, like I stood in line for 8 hours and we could only withdraw 5,000 for the entire family. I'm telling him my struggles on Skype, okay? And he's like, yeah, but that's good for the good. Corruption will stop and terrorists will stop. I'm
Oh.
like, but you're not here. I'm standing and struggling. You
Okay,
understand?
yeah.
If I'm venting about my struggles, listen to me as a nice boy. He's like, no, but Modi ji ne socha hoga to kuch acha. I'm like, shut the fucking laptop right
Oh,
now.
dude.
Fuck you. I
Did
was so pissed. Yeah, I broke
that
up
why you
with
broke
him.
up?
Not
Is that why you broke up?
eventually, no.
So demonetization had many side effects.
Yeah.
That is not-
I still
And
didn't dump him
cost-
after 5
cost
months.
you
of
a
that, but
lot?
like, okay.
He was
Stop,
a
Rohit.
chef.
Rohit, it's very creepy that you know
Wow,
this
Rohit
information.
remembers.
Yeah,
I
but
also
Dubai
remember
chef-
now. The
Yeah,
Dubai chef.
Dubai chef.
You're a
Yeah.
long relationship with this guy. It was like for a little while.
Yeah, for a year
Definitely.
almost.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
now he's in Canada. So he fucked off anyways.
No,
So,
bro.
आना
Cyrus
आना
says,
वापस देश कितना प्यार है देखो मोदी जी तो आना
Whoever
वापस
y'all-
सूंघना मिट्टी सूंघना आना सरसों
But
खेत में दास्ते
How was he as a chef though?
Huh?
How was he as a chef?
As a chef,
Yeah.
I don't know. I never ate anything. I ate him out. I'm sorry. I'm in my mood right now.
would you like to react to that piece of information? which
Navin
you
is
say-
always
Always
horny.
So says a guy
Dynamics.
with a name called Bruce Wayne, okay? who's always horny for women
And crime.
and crime and
Okay, now
jokes.
don't
He
get into
loves
this
it.
I love it.
sexuality.
Maybe
Oh,
he should
shit.
be Bruce.
He
Nice,
appreciates
nice.
your spontaneity and being
I have a boyfriend
open-minded
of 4
about
years,
as
by
long
the
as you
way.
don't molest
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
and
You
they're
have
all
a
fine.
boyfriend
Awesome.
of you
Yeah.
broke the bed.
Yeah,
as
Broke the
well.
bed as well, we know.
Who is
Yeah, yeah,
Rohit? First of all, that he knows so much about your life.
He's the cricketer. He knows my life very well.
Yeah.
This is
It's just a
what
fact.
he does.
He's seen
and then
Navin's
listens to my
show, now he
story.
wants to see the bed. It's something like that.
I have a photo
Tell
of the.
Tell us the bed breaking story. Navin
Oh,
broke
shit, you
the
don't
bed
know. I
while
have an
making
entire
love.
bit on YouTube about that. You should watch it. It's called "Sex Jokes" by Navin Noronha. But
yeah, you
Okay.
should plug that. Don't
but
just give it away for
yeah, but
free
we were
here.
fucking on a bed in Dubai. Okay, we had booked a twin bedroom because
What?
you can't book.
What happened to
single
my
bedroom.
show? What was my show?
You asked for the story.
You
I'm
asked
telling
him
you.
the story.
They're
But
like 12
Could
years
you
old on
use
the show.
could you use more vegetarian phrasing? I mean, what's
We were making love as two men. Okay, like there's no like middle ground with men. Okay, we either
I should just say
or we don't.
our view count went up to 169.
Ayushi is turning
Exactly,
pink.
exactly.
Silverie is hiding behind the beard, and I'm
Milkshake
the
is
guy.
bringing all the boys to the yard. But you know what I'm saying.
So you broke the bed in this vigorous
No, it's not. It's
session?
not a bed. I'm telling the story. Wait now. So it was twin beds. So there was no single bed because if you book the single bed in Dubai, it's very doubtful. Like
You were making love across two beds.
No, we had
Somebody's
only
well
one
endowed.
bed to make
You
love on.
pushed it
Okay.
together.
No, we had only one bed. They were like fixed into the wall.
So there's
Oh.
not
Including the
twin
headboard,
beds.
okay?
It's one bed. A queen size bed.
Why are we talking about the bed?
Twin beds.
Because
One
details
bed.
matter. How do
One
we-
bed.
The
table in the
landscape is
middle.
important.
Navin Corona. Oh shit. I'm sorry. This show is the best fans. Okay. But anyways,
Finish it.
so we're doing it, and I'm holding on to the headboard for support because we need leverage, right? So in the heat of the moment, I pulled the headboard out of the wall, like an entire structure. It's like I've pulled it out and I drop it 2 inches away from his
Oh,
head,
God.
essentially. And I almost killed him, but we broke a bed in Dubai was the major crime because if somebody finds out that we were boinking, we could be put in jail directly for that.
Oh yeah.
So we were
Because of
very
the gay
nervous
thing
about
or
that.
because of having sex?
Because of the gay
Because
thing.
of the bed. This
Gay
broken
sex
bed.
thing.
God knows what the
Yeah,
rules
no.
are. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, bed is okay. Then a Mallu uncle came and took it out. So it was the bed, I mean.
Was that necessary? Was that also necessary? That was not necessary. Oh man, this guy is full of
What a
angst.
smile to your
Also.
face.
Well, telling us a story about making love. What an irony.
You should
Oh,
watch my
boy.
stand-up comedy. If this
Thank
thing
you,
is
Parikh,
visual
saying
for
don't
you.
give
No,
visuals.
it's not
These
about the
boys-
visual. I'm just thinking of like the well, I guess the geometry
Don't
of it
stop.
doesn't matter.
Ayushi,
You broke
don't
the
stop.
bed.
As
You
a
broke the
critique,
bed.
please go ahead.
No, I was like, like the structure of the bed. I'll stop. I'll just
No,
stop.
one second.
I'm looking for
Your
the
mind is
photo
still
right
on
now.
the furniture. That's what you're getting out of this story. Okay, fair enough.
Shoaib Bakshi says it's so graphic. I'm forever scarred.
Um,
Talk
But-
about
Balat palang tod.
Lord Baba.
It's true.
Oh, great.
Naveen, we are
Ah.
speechless. There's nowhere to go because you've hit like a high C in
Yeah.
tenor terms and opera terms.
I broke
We
a
don't
bed
have
in
anywhere
Ari
to go
Colony
after
also
this.
once. It just folded
What?
into like an entire
He's
V
breaking
shape.
You have
beds
another-
everywhere you
what's
go.
going on.
Another
now?
bed
So I'm a
story.
big guy who has
Change the show to
flexible
bedtime
thighs.
stories.
That's
Come
no
on.
problem, right? Like,
Ah.
so there's no bed designed for us. Like, I
But I've
think.
never seen you as this
Fair.
aggressive, crazy
So
sort of
twin beds
wild
are
beast,
a better option
primal,
for you.
crazy
seen me in
gorilla,
bed, that's
mountain
why.
gorilla mating.
I feel Naveen have OnlyFans account to if it's for you to find out and for me to show. But this is the bed. I don't know if you have a better camera. Look at this.
Yeah, I do.
Don't scroll anywhere else.
Which
Okay,
bed is
should I-
this?
can I show
now?
this?
Yeah, you can show the bed. This is
I
the
mean,
bed.
how
with
people take pictures of
This is-
the headboard,
famous
the entire
What is
headboard.
that
monuments.
fire engine ka thing on top?
It's a water thing. No, everybody has a hose.
Like the headboard is kept in the corridor or something.
outside. We took it
Outside, yeah.
outside. I was
Yeah,
confused.
that's the
I was like,
headboard.
is
That's
this
not
a
the bed.
bedroom?
No,
This is
They're
just
like,
this
this
is
is some
the
hose for you,
headboard.
hose.
I don't know.
Confused
Hey, we
as
can
to
get.
what hotel
I think
this
Naveen,
is.
you can get us a bed sponsor. I mean, because you've got so many stories.
That's
We
great.
can just do one story every
Yeah,
time.
yeah, a headboard sponsor. Rather.
No, you find a brand that will be like, even Naveen couldn't break this bed.
Yeah,
This-
there you go.
The ad, right? Quick. And now we're like, okay, next one.
Yeah.
And then
If it can
this
withstand
one.
me, like Fevicol, but a reverse thing for me.
Yes.
Pakde rehna, chodna
Okay,
mot.
Pranshu says Pranshu says, and he's given I can't say this hello friends dynamic for some reason. You should be cast in Breaking Bed. That's
That's like a Gujarati trying to say Breaking Bad.
Dude.
Breaking Bad.
Y'all are killing it, guys, today. I love
Yeah.
it. Amazing.
If you're a cricket fan, check out Edges and Sledges, India's favorite cricket podcast.
The podcast focuses on Indian cricket, the IPL, and has a ton of banter both on and off the field.
We talk about the week's biggest cricket stories with current and ex-international cricketers, coaches, or sometimes just between us.
And it's hosted by me, DJ.
Me, Varun.
And me, Ashwin.
New episodes release every week.
You can catch us on the IVM Podcast's website, app,
or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Check out the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me. We keep them because they're funnier than us. We just keep them there.
Do you have
Okay.
questions or these are just comments on Navin's live?
We have questions also.
Let's just take the comments for 5 minutes. But everybody just
Navin is
wait a little
always
bit.
in Tata Sky
Fair
mode.
enough.
Isko laga dala to life jingala.
Everybody's going to have their 2 bits now for a bit.
I think I'm more of like Coca-Cola, open happiness.
No, Navin, now you've made us all look inwards because I haven't broken any bets. I don't want to talk to the other two. Yeah.
No question.
Next, the next question comes in from Malone. He says, "Well, as Ayushi is here, tomorrow Mumbai and Navi Mumbai will get their water taxi. Any comments?"
What the fuck is a water taxi?
I don't know what a water taxi is.
Okay, pretend
Wait,
you know
where
about
does the
it.
water taxi go? Oh, because of ship. Look at this. Look at this shit. Now you've got me involved with taxis also.
Deep
now.
Yeah, it's all
It's
your
still a
domain.
Listen, Malone,
It's all
no
relative.
offense,
It's
You have
still
your
a,
question
it's
is
still a
lovely,
vehicle
thank
on
you so
water.
much, but you fuckers.
Are you Post Malone or pre-Malone? That's what I want to know. Or current Malone.
But 1 second, Navi Mumbai is getting a water taxi.
This is another. Apparently.
Look,
Why is this not in my
Malone,
news
you're writing to
I
the
don't know.
wrong
Like,
forum.
Is it like Adam
we don't
Sandler
get the
taxi?
news
Obscure
on
news
time.
stories, man.
We didn't
I
know
can't
about poor
cover everything.
Bappi till like 10 minutes ago. So
Yeah,
we can't
yeah.
What is-
can't help
You're
you.
expecting too much
We're
from
four
us.
amateurs trying to do a show. Nobody watches. It's clear now.
Oh,
No.
I'll
We should
find
get-
out about
We
this
should talk to
water
Malone.
taxi.
Malone, we'll ask you this question.
Yeah. What do you think about the water taxi?
Someone from
Varun?
Yeah,
Navi
man.
Mumbai.
And
Is
from
there a
where
water
to where
taxi
is it
service starting
going?
tomorrow? Yeah? There is. From Vashi to?
You just made that up. Is that true?
I like how we have two
No, no.
producers here and
From
somebody on
Vashi
side
to
is giving-
the creek area. I have very good details from Kosovo. From Vashi to the creek area that you can go from tomorrow. It's already
From
started as we
south to
speak.
Navi
apparently.
Mumbai.
And what's the tariff?
What's the tariff? He doesn't pay. He has a Navy card. So he just flashes his Navy card. He's doing this all everywhere he goes.
Yeah,
Free of
that's-
cost.
yeah,
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah,
get
it's
a
a
Navy
thing.
card?
If your family is in
His
the-
father's got to be
yeah.
in the Navy. I mean, there's got to be a
Yeah.
connection. You can't just have a Navy card. I mean, you can. Who knows?
Yeah,
I have
my
no
father
idea.
used to work on the ships, building those ships, but I get no privileges.
I think he should have worked more
That's
like building
that.
beds because his son's going to break all of them. He should have had. It would be
Yeah,
karmic
he
if
was
had
not. He
lots
was
of
not
beds.
Joseph like this is his
Cyrus,
father.
Cyrus used to have a press card, right? Didn't you?
I have a fake press card also, and
Oh,
this
Mumbai
is the
police.
Navy mask,
Oh, chal.
which he
Oh,
also Kosovo
This
uses.
doesn't work.
Sometimes
The
he just
mask
pulls the
won't
mask.
work.
Yeah, does
The
the
mask
mask
doesn't do
work?
anything. No. Nobody is noticing.
Wow.
My
that.
only naval connection is, well, never mind.
Or
How
is
is
it
I
a
have
joke?
800 to
You can
550.
go for
That's
the
like,
naval joke.
is it 800 minus 550? Is it 250? There's always numbers go lower to higher usually. So I
That's
was
Oh,
just
so the
confused.
ticket is any of the 1 second. A water taxi costs $550. Who's gonna take it?
No. But it'll be more like 4 people or 5 people on one. No, there won't be one. Will it be one?
If they have
It's
a
not a
private
scooter.
yacht and I can go like with the champagne, I'm
Let me
on
ask
for it.
the
How many-
expert.
how big is the
many
fleet?
people
Is
can
it like just
travel on the
one
water
taxi?
taxi?
I don't think you can pay $500 for a water taxi. That's
6
how
to
much you
8
pay for the
people.
Ro-Ro.
Guys, it's 6 to 8 people in one thing. So is that
Okay.
the collective?
And how
sum?
many
Or
taxis
is
do
it
we have?
some-
Are there like just one?
What
going
if we
back
hit
and
the
forth?
driver
It's
and go
just
rogue
one
and go to
going up
Alibag?
and down.
It's like
No,
go
what?
crazy.
But 6 to 8 people.
How
That's
do you
so-
hail
so
down
little.
this taxi?
What kind of podcast is this? Nobody has any answers. You're
This
asking
is so
questions.
You
that
have
we
to be a
don't know
mermaid for
to.
this.
We
You're
don't
like,
have the expert,
hey,
but we're all
move.
asking the questions. The questions are going
And
to
do
the
you-
universe.
Does it only stop at 2 locations, or can you like stop along the creek? Like be like, oh,
So the
can I
full-
just get off here?
Yeah,
Somebody
can I
said
just
even
catch some
easily
fish
to
over here?
Belapur.
Somebody saying, yeah.
Belapur is
Some
really far.
bombay for the
800
road.
bucks.
To Belapur,
800
$800
bucks. That's a
That's
lot, yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
Nothing is worth going to Belapur.
So it's Uber,
Uber water pool. 12 grand is the monthly pass. You can go up and down just for fun. You can take your friends, and if you want
Okay,
yesterday's
Malone is-
podcast, you can go
The
sailing.
tentative tariff will be
Sailing.
800 and 550 for DTC Belapur and DTC JNPT. Oh, to JNPT, then that's not bad. That's easier. A monthly pass to Belapur
12,000,
was
not 1,200.
Yeah. 12,000, I
Oh,
said 12
shit.
grand, bro. No, 1,200
Okay,
rules.
yeah,
only.
yeah.
You
My
really
binder
own the
years were
wrong
like
country.
1,200 only.
Oh.
See, I'll still drive.
That's
to
a monthly
JNPT
first class
then.
pass for
but
us.
Nobody's.
But I like
paying
the
that
idea of during COVID being with 7-8 people stuck close together for maybe half an hour.
And then being
Eventually-
on water, like
No, eventually it will be
no
like the-
escape.
Fully
Mafia
safe,
guys
yeah.
just putting a body into water. That will be only the purpose.
Cyrus, you think
Just
COVID's
dump
still
it
around?
somewhere.
I don't care. I've given up on COVID in 2020.
Okay,
I've been saying no to masks since day one. We don't have sanitizers. We have this green bottle. I don't know what's in the green bottle, bro. Why is it here?
That sanitizers
Alcohol.
are insides, yeah. So it never get covered
Apparently,
over.
it's empty, by the way.
It's
huh?
German made after all, so it's like
This is Kostab's water bottle because he can't drink alcohol anymore. So he puts water and remembers the old days for some reason. Chalo,
yeah,
next,
we
water
think the
taxi.
Jägermeister, yeah.
Another Rohit Sharma has a question. Ayushi is our shipping correspondent. Perhaps she can explain the new shipyard scam. There's a shipyard scam.
Dude, people are too interested in shipping.
Again, we're asking the questions. We don't have any
I'm not coming on the
research.
show anymore. I'm not coming on the show
I thought
anymore.
the shipping thing peaked at Suez Canal, but
Yeah.
then
Our
You know,
show
literally,
is
there
like
were
my-
two tragedies. There were two actual shipping tragedies. These guys were like, oh, let's make hay while the sun shines. Call Ayushi on it and make her talk about it. And after that, everyone sends people on Instagram now DM me when something bad happens. And I'm like, guys, I'm not like, I don't get happy when there's like a marine incident. Like these are all environmental disasters.
yeah, ship goes on like
In the meantime, we got
One
one
more
sailors
down.
back
Like,
from
Send
Iran.
it to Ayushi.
you're playing Battleship with real ships as if.
Hey, Battleship was a great game.
It's a
I
great game, yeah.
enjoyed it.
We got some good
Kinda
news. We
We
have
can
some
actually
sailors
play
back
from
from
here
Iran.
also, the way we are sitting right now.
Next question comes in from Abhinav SV, who says, AMA at Naveen, what's the one worst thing and the best thing when you were a producer of the show? And Silverie, do you agree with it?
The best thing is like meeting all the people you get to meet, like the guests and also
Name
like
3 guests you loved.
I loved your wife.
Liar.
You loved your wife too, Cyrus, at one point.
Liar.
I know, because that episode was the first time we got your
You
wife on,
love,
and it was
where are
great.
these guests that you loved? You don't remember any of them. It's all lies.
I remember
say.
all of them. I remember that guy who was from Francisco Pizzeria. He was cute, that's why.
That
And,
guy who was from Francisco Pizzeria? That's
Yeah.
not remembering someone.
They've
Yeah.
sold their thing now, so he's not.
And
with
at one
Francesco
time, the
anymore.
Book My Show CEO came because Amit had to be like, calm down.
Do you know any names?
No names. No
What?
names. But he's giving us
Ashish
direction.
Raja.
This is the,
Yeah.
like I said, we're the experts. This is expert panel.
What's
Yeah.
the worst about being
The
on
worst thing about being is like I would do so much research and prepare so much about these people who have done so much great work, and then Cyrus would not read any of that shit. He's just like,
Yeah,
paper, I'm
that's
gonna
right.
scribble on
Right.
it. I'm gonna draw
Dude.
flowers on it for the next 2 hours, but not read your
Dude,
research.
the best is when Cyrus will read their resume to them. Okay, your bio says that you are a this.
Yeah, and then put a full
And
stop on the page and be like,
entire
okay,
thing, dude.
screw this, I'm gonna just free ball
Yeah.
now. And of course the humor and everything great comes out of that fact. But like as a producer, you feel like, man, I did so much work. You know, I stayed late on Monday evening to do this shit, and then Tuesday morning nothing. So that's the worst part. But
I know.
I
My
really enjoyed
goodness.
doing this.
You
I
held
would
all this
shout out
against me for so many
my,
years,
guests
Navin, you
and-
bastard.
It's all out of
None
love,
you
Cyrus.
abused
That's all
throughout
out
the
of
show.
How
love.
lucky
This is
they
the
are.
abusing
They put
show.
Yeah,
so
correct,
much
absolutely.
work.
Abhinav
Yeah.
opened the floodgates.
Cyrus like finds out that who the guest is gonna be about an hour before the show starts.
Sometimes,
And that's it.
oh wait. Sometimes, so in the old studio we
Sometimes we
had like
stuck in without knowing who he is. You have to say the
Wait,
name.
wait,
Remember
so
the
there were
name?
2 doors, okay? There was a glass
Wow.
door and a wooden door, okay? And
Yeah.
Cyrus and I would be stuck in the middle of those 2 doors. Okay, who's this? Who's
Yeah.
this person? What has she done? Like, I'm like, okay, she played poker at some point. You know, I'm pulling out information from my ass. It's like, it's crazy. It was
You
No,
are
once we
100%. I
both
just
were
wanna
caught,
No,
the guest just
Jalashmi
walked
and
in.
Dash and I, we have no. Come on, Jay gives us so
I
much
see.
good
No,
The guest
information.
walked in
You
early
don't understand?
once. We were both
Yeah.
caught off guard, and we were both stuck in the studio. We couldn't get up and leave, so he couldn't communicate
Yeah.
with me, and I couldn't communicate. So we didn't know. He didn't know the name. I didn't know the name. There was paper somewhere, but we were far away from the email, and he couldn't access it. He
sometimes-
couldn't leave.
But sometimes, I agree with you. You get a guest. You know, your producers told you that this is what's on the schedule this week. You're like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then when you sit down for a second, I swear your mind goes blank, and you're like, first of all, I've forgotten the name, and I'm looking on the Zoom camera for a name. The worst is when we had 2 guests, and only one name was on the camera because they were sharing it, and I was like, so, and your partner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Forgot the word.
I was like, I don't know your name.
You forgot the name.
And Jalasmi has nicely on the side been like, this
Oh,
is her, this
that
is
is
the
so
older
sweet.
one, this is the younger one. And I was like, thanks. I
Yeah.
love
So
you.
we've had 1 or 2
Yeah,
close
man.
shaves like that. That's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing.
It's bad.
Otherwise,
I
out of sheer
agree.
laziness, we just go on with the organic conversation. So we
Yeah,
get into
yeah.
the details of the guests. Of 10 minutes, we've talked about something else. That's out of
Yeah,
sheer
yeah.
laziness.
Or my favorite guest who came on the show was a Sattvic guy who had come to like talk to us about organic eating and what we should eat. Remember that guy? He
Yes,
was like out of nowhere. He
You
showed
have
up.
to end by 4 in the evening and all, like when
Yeah,
the
yeah.
light is on and when the light
Avoid
goes, you can't
garlic
eat
and
after
stuff like that. And
Yeah,
we're just like, yeah, you're agreeing.
Sure,
And he was giving us like, metaphysical reasons why we should stop doing
And he
was
what
came
we're
on
doing.
Cyrus's show.
Yeah. He was the most
Fine,
out
but
of the
he was
left
very
field.
sweet. He wasn't
Exactly,
right wing
exactly.
aggressive, but his views were what they were.
Little like old school, yeah. So yeah, we had some great like variety of guests sometimes, and that's the thing. Like Amit and I would panic on a certain night, like shit, like some major guest cancel because they have a press shoot or whatever.
Yeah.
Now who do we call? And I'm like, okay, let me find the roster of comics we have as friends, and then call somebody like
That's all,
yeah. So
I
Akash would
felt
come
sometimes
and-
Amit would
yeah.
shout at Naveen, but actually intending me to get like the shouting. But you know how when you don't want to shout at the person, so you shout to a third party. That would happen
Yeah.
sometimes. And the point would,
Yeah.
Silverie, that doesn't happen anymore. Luckily, he just shouts at you now because you
Yeah,
do enough
well,
awful things.
and you don't hear about
I
it.
know.
Yes.
That's why you stayed home.
No,
It's so
the
nice
thing,
to
like,
have you in
Amit
the
is such
studio.
a cuddly, like a nice person,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
every time chill.
Very chill.
But when you see his angry side, you never want to see that again. Like it's crazy.
Amit?
But
yeah.
very, very less so. He's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
often like
yeah.
that.
Also,
He's not
Amit
been
and
mad
Abbas
at all
both
for a lot
don't
of
raise their
things.
voice. They just get the tone
I mean,
changes, but the voice doesn't
Even
raise.
Naveen and I
Naveen,
don't
you know,
raise
what
our
is his-
voices. What do you?
No, Naveen
Cyrus
Naveen
is
has a
very
tempo.
animated.
Yeah.
Like, I have
I've seen
a lot
him-
of
Maybe
I'm
you
feeling
should
he
do
doesn't
a
get angry.
reunion episode of all the different producers that Cyrus has had, and
Yeah.
like do a roast. Oh, you guys should do a roast
Roast of Cyrus,
episode
roast of
where all
Cyrus.
the
Cyrus,
producers
right.
roast him, and then
Cyrus,
it's like
yeah.
you get everything that
We had
you've
a
been
girl
feeling about him all
producer
these
also.
years. You can come. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All of your
Girl
producers.
producer.
Malvika, no? Wasn't it
Otherwise
Malvika?
known as the
Yeah.
woman.
That's right.
Malvika.
Today a
You
woman,
should
that
have
day
a
a girl.
roast show. You should
Yeah.
do it.
Didn't Surbhi produce the show?
No, so we was not on it. It was
No.
Malvika, then I came on for 2 years, then Abbas, then you.
2 years.
Yeah, I was there for 2
Yeah.
years, yeah.
Well,
I've been for
Silverie's
more
been the
than 2 years
longest
now, yeah.
actually because we've had 2.5
Episode
years.
wise,
we
it became a
never
daily
saw each
show,
other.
right? So now
Yeah.
number of episodes is crazy.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
What a
Vasai,
fab ideas is Pranshu Parikh.
Who is Pranshu?
He's
Can
a
he,
fan.
he should be
Yeah.
my
He's-
friend.
He's a good cricketer from Jaipur. Lovely guy. Yeah.
He's not the Rohit
And-
Sharma, but like
Yeah.
he's good.
Next
you know,
IPL auction.
Rohit-
next.
I have one connection with Rohit Sharma, which is the same person that came. He was on New Year's. He wasn't playing cricket, right? He was in Alibag somewhere, and somebody came to collect his sample for like a COVID test. And then we also had the same guy come to our house, and he said he came from Rohit Sharma's house,
What?
and we were like, "Wow!" And that is the level, and that is the
Did
height
good-
of
did you-
my star.
It'd be hilarious if
connection.
Rohit Sharma gave you COVID through this guy.
That's what
they
we
use
said.
the same.
Yeah.
That's what we
They
were
use
like.
the
You
same-
come from there. That means you've given it to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Some diehard
All
fan
the
like,
youth-
"Main bhi dal do uska."
Yeah,
I want
तो देख
I want
लो.
this in my
They
name.
use the same earbud.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
Yeah, like the same
his
thing.
bodily DNA. I'm
Yeah.
not interested. in
Once
that
my
one.
plumber came to my house and he's like, he was installing my Western.
By the way,
wall.
Naveen,
Rohit
Rohit
Sharma's
Sharma's
house.
No, he came from
Rohit
Sonu
Sharma's-
Sood's house.
Sonu Sood's house?
He's like, I just built this new gate, and I'm like, yeah, not many people are jumping over that gate now. It was nice.
But Rohit Sharma is supposed to be very funny, huh? Very
Yeah,
witty
he's from Borivali.
and good
He's got a
fun.
sense of
Yeah,
humor.
so we should let's get him on the show now. Who has cricket pull? Ayushi, you seem to have some connection with him. Can you call him?
Yeah, I'll
If
call
he's
the
ever on a
COVID-
ship.
I'll call the COVID tester
Yeah.
and find out how he got in touch with Rohit.
Okay,
yes,
Rohit
yes,
Sharma,
yes.
COVID tester, and you, everybody on the show
Yeah.
together.
We should get him. He was really nice. The COVID
The
tester.
coaches.
He'll probably at least have some expertise. Look what we had today. We just repeat the questions. This time on
Yeah,
Marathi
it-
paper. We repeat the questions that come in because we don't have the answer. That's all we can say.
I'm really
Oh.
glad to find out about this water taxi.
It's embarrassing. You're the shipping expert. You're the one actual expert we have. Frankly
Yeah, not the
speaking,
shipping
three of us are not
humans.
experts.
Did I not say at the top of this episode? I know little
too
about
late.
so many things.
You got the chart. Now you got to live with it. There's nothing we can do. It's done.
You're an expert. You know how many people are shipping experts? There must be very few in the world.
Very few.
So that's kind
And
of
by
You
cool.
guys
choice-
have
by
met
choice,
no
even
one who
fewer.
understands the
That's
ship.
true.
That's why
That
I'm
is
an
true.
expert in your eyes.
In my
If
eyes,
I told my father, the thing is, I told my dad.
You
I
complained to your
said,
dad.
No,
South Bombay guy.
he told me, he's like, so what are they calling you? And I said, they have this running joke that I'm a shipping expert. He literally looked at me like, you, shipping? And I was like, yeah, dad, they don't know you, nah. He was like, it's a bad show you're on. And I was like,
Ayushi, in my eyes, you're an
Wow.
expert.
Now people don't like our show without
Send
even
me-
listening
send
to it.
me your-
Look at what we've done. They actually don't like the show. They don't have to hear it. Amazing.
You
Should
know,
we
when
take one more?
10 people are listening to this.
Yeah, one last one. Next cricketer, Versailles Thomas has asked, Ayushi, what did you do for Valentine's Day? Hard pivot from shipping. What both of you do,
What?
Naveen and Ayushi? What would you guys do?
Okay, Ayushi, truth.
I picked up my aunt from the airport. Who's a
Who
nun
asked
from
you?
Argentina.
Stop
Romantic,
the
yeah.
cow footage in the middle.
I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
sorry.
that's definitely more than what I
Nothing
did.
interesting happened in my life. That's why I'm
Yeah.
putting the question
I
back to
didn't,
whoever
I
had
didn't
an
do
interesting
anything for
thing.
Valentine's Day. I went to work and then
Oh, come
and
on.
then that's it.
Liar.
I didn't have any Valentine's Day plans.
Sunday night, 13th night, did you do something which is like Valentine's Day because it's the weekend?
It's the Valentine's Eve.
No, I didn't do
When you
anything.
eve these people.
I did not have any Valentine's Day plans. Nothing romantic. I took some time to think about all like the small acts of love and happiness and joy that are in your life that you can celebrate,
that's-
and that is
People
just
are
as
putting up the-
valid.
Sure.
The podcast
That is just
dying.
as
What are you
valid.
doing?
Hey man,
Bring
I have
those.
another show that I have to make sure that I'm still in line with that.
Okay.
Oh, this
Yeah,
is like a
brand
Miss
on
India
brand,
contest
Jasmine.
question answer now.
Brand.
Just tell us.
Yeah.
So there's no significant other. There's no Valentine's Day. There's nothing. I mean, what are you doing?
No,
What's
I
going
am
on?
in fact a free agent. So if you
Again, a
are
shipping
Rohit
term. See?
Sharma,
Again, a
then
shipping term.
cricketer.
Hey, Ayushi, I have 6 cars.
But in Powai,
He likes ships.
I do like. I'll buy a ship
Work
now.
harder.
A car
Work
is a ship
harder.
on land, guys. Come on. Think about it.
your cars
Wow.
are in Powai though, so
Oh, well,
that's a
that's
problem
good.
for
Hey
us.
man, I can
No,
buy a car
so
whenever
So
you
one
want.
second. The pressure's on Silverie quickly as we end. So Ayushi says
Yeah.
she did nothing. Naveen just picked up the aunt. I'm stuck with the
Yeah.
wife. We did nothing. That
What
leaves
did
you,
you do?
Silverie.
I came back from Pune from meeting Varun Ramesh, our fan.
Ah,
And,
your romantic
came
moment
back
was
from
Varun
Pune on
recognizing
Monday.
you.
And
Yeah,
that's what
but
I-
you know, marriages and weddings are like very fertile grounds to meet people. Did you meet anyone?
no, I tried to, but nobody would have me.
Did you take Ramesh with you and be like, hey Ramesh?
Hey, Ramesh, introduce me, dude. What are you
Hey,
doing, man?
Antariksh from Cyrus
Yeah.
says, how are
Tell
you?
me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
No,
Wow. Of all the plans to put out ladies, you've come up with the
I
best
call
one.
up my grandmom and Western
Really?
Valentines. That's so
Take
good,
Varun
so
wherever
cute,
you
so
go.
cute.
Super successful formula.
Yeah.
All right.
I
I can
can't
see
help
Ayushi
you.
is
I'm so
tiring.
sorry.
Don't you have another show to do?
No, I have a job. I have to go.
Oh, right. Where? Which part of town?
Car, I love the new studio. I can literally
great.
walk to work.
The-
It's
The
amazing.
old studio also in car only.
Yeah, but
Now
that was
that
a
you-
little bit further,
Oh,
and I
okay.
used to feel a
That's
little
true.
It
hard.
was 100 meters away from this.
No,
It's literally that.
Yeah, but so now I'm closer to the
Oh, wow.
station.
Oh, that's
By
cool.
100 meters.
Nice.
Naveen will drop you
man.
on his bed.
What?
He carries everywhere he goes.
Naveen is not interested in me and a bed in the
That wasn't
same
a bed
sentence
metaphor
at
like
all.
that. I'm
At
saying
all.
bed is his vehicle.
Unless
Like
you're
yours
bed
is ship,
middler.
his is cars. He's
Even
a bed
then,
guy.
that was so bad.
I'm
That
sorry,
was
I'm sorry.
So bad.
See, I have no pickup skills for women. That's what I'm saying. I
I don't know what pickup skills you have for men either. I'm sure you do well, but for
I mean, the thing
nothing's
is, I don't
coming
think you
across.
need pickup skills really for
See,
men.
Bette Midler
right?
is a gay icon. That was the reference I was going
Wait, did you
for.
hear that?
Never mind.
Silverie says that you don't need any pickup skills for men. Is that
For
true?
men. Do you? Do you need pickup skills?
In the men
Like
dating
good pickup skills?
Not really. Not really.
Right?
It's
What
pretty
do you mean?
straightforward with
What do you
gays.
mean you don't need a pickup?
don't
You
use
don't you have
lines?
to hit on someone and
As in,
like,
unless you're doing it at a bar or a social event, like most of
So how do you
dating
hit on
happens on the
someone?
apps. You're like, hey, you got place, let's fuck. That's how it goes usually.
Okay, this is it. He's not coming on the show
Why
again.
do-
When I said we could abuse and all, that was like just being funny. And now this is
I'm
this
being very
guy's-
genuine. Ask any gay out there. I'm sorry. That's how Grindr works. You want me to open
What
Grindr
are
right now and show
You're the
how it
head of the
works?
gay
No, not
community.
right now.
El Presidente.
Yeah,
El
I'm the
gay
Dumbledore of the
Presidente.
gays. Yeah.
What the hell? You make all the rules and regulations. You sound like a very right-wing man.
I blow a pipe and everybody follows me.
Okay, all right. That's it. Good night, guys. Ayushi, we have to get back to the real world. Bye-bye.
Tying it all into one.
Stop it. Just let him keep talking. We'll fade out. All right? Get
Done.
the
Yeah,
medics
once
in.
life
Get the medics in.
becomes-
Wheel him away. Wheel him away.
Rohit
Bye.
Sharma, you're my only true friend.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Do you like true crime stories? Do you like to learn about the people behind some horrible, awful crimes? More specifically, women that may have committed these crimes. Actually, Indian criminals that are women? Then we'd like to welcome you to our podcast, Misconduct. My name is Raghavi. And I am Nisha. We cover themes like murder, dacoity, drug trafficking, financial fraud, kidnapping, and many more. You can catch us every Wednesday on the IVM Podcast Network or wherever you get your podcast.
इन्फ्लेशन, फिस्कल डेफिसिट, जीडीपी, एमएसपी, एनपीए, इक्विटी मार्केट वगैरह वगैरह। दोस्तों, हमने सारे शब्द टीवी या अखबार में जरूर देखे होंगे या फिर सुने होंगे, पर हम में से कितने लोग हैं जो ये जानते हैं कि इन सब का सीधा प्रभाव पड़ता है हमारी सैलरी पर, हमारे इंक्रीमेंट पर और कमबख्त हमारे खर्चों पर। दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है अभिनव त्रिवेदी और मैं बात कर रहा हूँ इक्का दुक्का इकोनॉमी पॉडकास्ट से, जहाँ पे इस तरह के इकोनॉमिक और फाइनेंशियल टर्म्स को मैं जोड़ूंगा सीधा आपकी जेब से। हर मंगलवार एक नया एपिसोड सुने IVM पॉडकास्ट की वेबसाइट, ऐप या फिर किसी भी अन्य पॉडकास्ट प्लेटफॉर्म पर।